Danni is actually going to sit down with Tony's kids. Sabrina is going after this managerial position. And what is going on with the amniocentesis for Karen? What's good, y'all? She gets this Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this one, we're going to talk about how things are getting heated up as we are only 2 episodes away from the season 7 mid-season finale. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my Tyler Perry Sistas content and conversations. I also do a live after show after each new episode right here on my channel on Wednesday nights, 30 minutes after a new episode premiere, titled Our Sisters Keeper. If you haven't checked it out, I have the latest episode linked in the description box down below so that you can go ahead and get into it and fill up on all the Sistas content that your hearts can desire. This is going to be the preview for episode 10, breaking down the end of episode teaser, which starts off with Jordan and Andi romping around in the bed at the penthouse, and they happen to be listening to the news where they actually hear a story about Jordan. Apparently, the news has found out that he has been spending quite a bit of time at Andi's penthouse, so much so that they think that he's actually moved there. And for me, I'm watching and I'm just like, who cares? You would think that this man is running for president or vice president, hell, even mayor of Atlanta. But for councilman, who is clocking where the councilman is laying his head? Who is clocking where the councilman is moving about throughout the city? It is just the councilman, and no shade to any of my political figures or any of the people who are moving our judicial system forward on the local and state levels. However, as I mentioned, he is not the president. Nobody is clocking where he lays his head. And what is the issue if he's at his own home or if he's at his girlfriend's house? If this is about to be something that's going to publicly link him to Andi, I think that it doesn't really line up with the storylines because they already have been doing date nights and going out to dinner together. So if there were paparazzi or there was a private eye keeping tabs on the movings and shakings of potential councilman Jordan Williams, then wouldn't they have already caught him dating Andi out and about and not need to follow him back to her penthouse? And whether he goes in here or not, again, what's it to anybody? Where he is sleeping is not going to affect how he's going to be able to show up within this particular position, how he is going to be able to maintain integrity. I really don't understand what the big deal is going to be, so I cannot wait to see this episode so that we can get a clearer understanding as to how this is going to be a very important plot point as we move forward with Andi and Jordan. Now, after that, we get to see Sabrina meeting with Miss India, and this is going to be in regards to her wanting the managerial position. She seems a little bit distraught, and she's telling Miss India that she's not asking for anything that's outside the norm. She's literally only asking for what's fair, and I think that she'll be right. Like, her being reinstated as manager of the branch that she was already at after that huge mix-up with the bank robbery in Q would make sense. I don't really care about Paige or care for Paige or know what Paige has done for this bank. But regardless, Sabrina seemed to excel at her job prior to the little mix up, and she's already shown that she's capable of doing this job, maintaining a certain level of integrity, and it makes no sense to me that she has to jump through hoops to try to get her job back behind something that was never her fault to begin with. And they knew it was never her fault to begin with because they had the video surveillance that showed that she was a part of being a victim of this crime, not actually a perpetrator. Nonetheless, we're going to get to see how this is going to play out, and I think that this episode is really going to be a lot of build-up, so don't expect to get too many answers in episode 10. As I mentioned, we're 2 episodes out from the mid-season finale, so I do believe that episode 10 is probably going to be the episode that's setting the stage for a lot of cliffhangers as we take a mid-season hiatus after episode 11. Now, to my surprise, we get to see Danni meeting at Rich's juice bar with Tony's kids, and I'm like, Tony, this woman has behaved so poorly and has spoken so negatively about you getting your kids. This needs to be a discussion. She needs to be considered, blah, 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 blah. Did you really trust her to be alone with your children? Please tell me that you are in the bathroom or something and you are here as well, because sending Daniela out with your kids solo, and she does not like kids and can't seem to fathom to find an ounce of maturity and or decorum to be able to conduct herself in a way that's appropriate of a mature adult. seems like a recipe for disaster to me. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to be for real. And I love that these kids about to play in Daniela's face talking about something. If you want to be our friend typically buys us gifts. Get whatever you can from her, but looky here, little whippersnappers. It don't look like she has much to give. All she giving your daddy is punani and a lot of lips. So I don't know how much y'all gonna be able to get out of her, but try to get what you can because she deserves it. Now in Karen's neck of the woods, she gets a call and she's getting called back into the doctors because apparently something popped up on the screening within her amniocentesis, and we just get the little cliffhanger of her asking what's wrong. And of course they're not going to tell her over the phone, so she's actually going to have to go in. I'm hoping that this is going to be the lead up to the actual spoiler that we got with the photo from the scene where Aaron and Zach are actually with Karen at the doctors. We have yet to see that yet, and they leaked that on the Sistas Instagram, Sistas on BT Instagram about 2 episodes ago. So I'm thinking that maybe this is what that's going to be. Maybe Aaron has to give another sample, this time a blood sample versus a swab sample, since Zach had to get multiple needles as well to get tested, and then we're going to just further the storyline of like who's the daddy. I honestly don't believe that there's anything wrong with the kids. There is it was shown on the sonogram that one of the kids seems like they're smaller than the other. One of the babies is smaller, but that typically is normal depending on the space that's available within the mother, and y'all know that Karen is a little petite thing. So I think that while one child might be developing a little bit smaller or slower, it doesn't mean that anything negatively is going to play out or that either child is actually harmed. I think that this is just a delicate situation, and as they enter the conversation around paternity, because they're doing this to get the answer, they want to be super specific. They already have her, she is about 5 months out, and they didn't clock or catch that she had twins before. So I can totally see her medical team moving with a lot more intention and being a little bit more dialed in and making sure that they're giving her all the information that they have and paying really, really close attention as they move forward so nothing else slips through the cracks. I think that this is definitely a little bait and switch, y'all. So there's nothing to worry when it comes to Karen and her babies. And last but certainly not least, Penelope cannot seem to understand that fat meat is greasy. I don't know what possessed her to take the photo that Andi showed her of his high school sweetheart who mysteriously disappeared and or he murdered back in high school and throw it up into Gary's face. Like, girl, you don't need to know what happened to Kimberly Potter. It honestly doesn't matter. Rest in peace for little Miss Mamas. I'm sorry that you ran into a psychotic Gary very early on in life and you had your whole life ahead of you. But Penelope, if you want any more of your life ahead of you, you would do as Andi tried to direct you and get ghosts. Get prepared to get ghosts. Don't go confronting a narcissistic man going through a psychotic break who is willing to do anything, and you have already seen more than enough evidence that he is not the man that you thought him to be and that he is capable of anything. The fact that you are sitting comfortably at his office across from him, throwing this photo in his face like you're doing something as if you're not a fully 10-month pregnant woman, vulnerable and weak, and he is not a dang crazy man, is beyond me. And at this point, Penelope, you deserve whatever the heck you get because, girl, you're simple. And that's it, y'all. Those are my thoughts. I will be coming back to do a trailer breakdown once I'm able to see the trailer. I haven't seen it as of yet. Let me know your thoughts, your theories, your predictions for episode 10 of season 7 of Tyler Perry's Sistas in the comment section down below. It's your good sis you want to talk TV with, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.